Welcome to this special edition of Fulton Today, the Fulton County COVID-19 update. Month 2 of the national and international pandemic known as COVID-19 continues to impact Fulton County, its residents, its businesses, and of course, the Fulton County government. And as a result, Fulton County residents have been ordered to shelter in place.
It was important, first of all, because it brings some uniformity, consistency to the various rules and regulations regarding stay in place in the county. The cities are all over the place. So the fact also is that it's getting worse and worse. I think all of the medical professionals are telling us that it's getting worse, and what has worked through the years has been stay in place rules and guidelines. So Dr. Ford, in her role, in her professional opinion, decided that it would be best if she were to implement a countywide ordinance rule, which she did. And for us, we supported it because even though it applied countywide, we felt, and I felt in particular, that it was important for us to support what the Board of Health was doing, to give it more strength and say to our citizens that yes, this is the right thing to do.
Fulton also passed a $10 million relief package for senior assistance, homelessness assistance, and small business relief.
I challenged the manager and his team to scour the 2020 approved budget to find $10 million that we could use in 3 broad categories. Number 1, and first and foremost, additional relief, i.e. food for our seniors. Number 2, our homeless community, our homeless population, and number 3, some relief for our small businesses, in particular small businesses in the hospitality industry and our arts organizations as well. They're actually also small businesses. So that was a catalyst for me talking with the manager, and the good news is it was approved unanimously by the board.
Now, for several weeks, Fulton County government has been operating with essential staff to ensure that those essential services are provided to Fulton County residents. Now, Dick Anderson has been leading the mission with this workforce. Sir, welcome to Fulton Today.
Thank you, Shania.
So as I mentioned, you are leading this workforce through this very difficult time. How are things going?
Well, this is unprecedented. I guess that's an overworked word now, but it truly is. These are uncharted waters. The leadership, our employees, and the citizens have never been in this situation before. But what I can report, and what I'm very encouraged by, is that we finished a all-day and into the night meeting with our Board of Commissioners. And everything that we presented to them was approved. And I take great solace in that, because these are very difficult decisions that they're having to make, and they make trade-offs between what we were planning to do versus what we must do. And what we're faced with now is a couple of 3 things. We know that we need a plan in Fulton County. Certainly the nation needs a plan, the state needs a plan, but so does our county. We presented a very detailed plan that really looked at the number of patients that may come online from this infection, the number of beds that would be required, the number of ICU beds, the number of ventilators. And all of those things really, I think, brought home how significant this event is. And it also put into sharp relief the partners that we will need to address this crisis, whether it be Grady Hospital, who is here with us with their CEO through video conference, whether it's the Board of Health that operates our specimen collection sites, whether it's the state that will have to help us with perhaps some of the capital requirements, or FEMA. But all of those partners will be critical to being able to address this crisis. But having a plan was very, I think, key to understanding. So once we moved past that, we really then moved into the practical. We are running a specimen collection site now at Fulton County Airport. So we've doubled the amount of specimens that we're being able to collect on a daily basis. Of course, that means more people tested, more people finding out exactly what their status is. In addition to that, we are running for Fulton County the warehouse for personal protective equipment. That's a critical link in solving this crisis, because obviously PPE, as it's known, supplied to all of our medical frontline personnel, is essential to their safety. So all of that equipment comes from either the strategic reserve that the federal government has, or we are purchasing on our own. So we are building that inventory and getting it out as quickly as possible. Lastly, what I would really underscore is that we made a fundamental proposal relative to our employees. Our employees are the lifeblood of this organization. And whether they are frontline workers in our jail, whether or not they are in public works serving customers as they always do in terms of water treatment, whether they're teleworking, or if they're in a category yet to be assigned where we've closed a library, we've closed a senior center, our Board of Commissioners supported our recommendation to continue to pay all of our employees, as well as they directed me to look at hazardous pay, which we will now do for those folks that are truly in a situation where their own health is threatened by this virus more acutely because of the jobs that they have. But I'm pleased to say that we don't face layoffs, we don't face disruption in income, because there is a great recognition of how valuable our employees are. And once this crisis is over, and it will pass, we need to reopen our libraries, reopen our senior centers, reopen our tax offices, reopen our art centers quickly. And we need to do that with the talent that we have. So I was very, very pleased that the Board of Commissioners agreed with our recommendation.
And sir, our justice partners have modified their operations. Talk to us about that.
They have. In fact, I would say not just modified their operations. I'd say the justice leadership has truly transformed itself almost overnight. And what, of course, they're doing is they're using technology, and they're using it in very creative and aggressive ways, where if it's a first appearance hearing, it's an electronic warrant, it's other court business, they are doing in large degree now on a virtual basis. So therefore, the human contact is minimized. As well, and very important, they have really reduced the jail population aggressively. But we do have a plan that both protects new folks who are admitted and they are quarantined for a 14-day period, as well as, of course, those ones that have tested positive are isolated from the rest of the general population. And we're doing everything that we can do to keep that environment safe. So reduced population, on the front end testing, and then isolation where we do have an event is key to that. But I'm very proud of everything that the justice leadership is doing to run that system in truly a different way than it's been run for years and years, if not decades. And
sir, just your final thoughts.
You know, I think my final thoughts are really, you start with your faith and your beliefs. Many of us, of course, hold those personal. Some are more public with them. But in a time like this, they're truly tested and they truly mean something. And so I'd say that first and foremost. I have great faith that we will come through this. We will come through it probably better than we expect right now, because all we see right now is bad news. I have confidence that a lot of these actions that are being taken by our elected leaders are the right actions. We all know that sheltering in place, social distancing, and doing everything that we can to not only protect ourselves, but protect our neighbors is the right thing to do. Is it easy to do? Is it natural? No, it's not, because all of us are used to going wherever we want to go, shaking hands, hugging. This is America, by the way, but right now, this is the challenge that we face, and America always rises to the challenge. My dad was a World War II veteran. I thank the good Lord that he went away and came back. I believe fully that we'll go through this in the same way, and perhaps these will be the stories that we tell our children and grandchildren. I also think that it's incumbent upon us to have good plans, to execute them well, to remain focused. And that was really, for our meeting with our Board of Commissioners, the essence of the agenda. And I want to say again that they sat through hours of presentation and data and back and forth on what the path forward was. And I was very impressed with their interest, their stamina, the good counsel that they gave us. And I believe we have a plan that for Fulton County, in the end, brings us out on the other side of this crisis.
Dick Anderson, the Fulton County Manager, always available and so responsive. Sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shania.
Now, to stay up to date with all of the COVID-19 Fulton County updates, please visit the county's website at its special COVID-19 page. And still to come on this special edition of Fulton Today, where you can go if you think you need a COVID-19 test. Stay with us. Welcome back to this special edition of Fulton Today, the Fulton County COVID-19 update. Now, back in mid-March, Fulton's Board of Health opened a specimen collection site for those who needed to be tested for COVID-19. But there are certain criteria that must be met before someone is allowed to be tested at this facility. FGTV's Priscilla Baylog joins us now with more on this story. Priscilla?
Shania, only certain residents that are experiencing COVID-19 symptoms will be able to be tested at the undisclosed location, and they will need a patient referral number from their doctor. Patients must meet one of the following criteria: be 60 years old or older, have a serious chronic medical condition like heart disease, diabetes, or lung disease, be a caregiver for somebody 60 years old or older, or for an immune-compromised person. Be a first responder who is critical to the epidemic response, a healthcare worker, or a person who lives or works in a congregate setting like a nursing home, assisted living facility, or jail. For any additional questions or information, please contact the Fulton County COVID-19 hotline at 404-613-8150 or go to fultoncountyboh.org.
And Priscilla, let's now talk about some of those other services that the Board of Health typically offers. What's going on there?
Shania, this is a very fluid situation, but for right now, the following health centers in Fulton County are closed to the public: Adamsville Regional Health Center, Center for Health and Rehabilitation, North Fulton Service Center, Neighborhood Union Health Center, and Oak Hill Child, Adolescent, and Family Health Center. Clients seeking services at other locations are required to have their temperatures checked by Fulton County Board of Health nurses and wear a mask, also provided by a nurse, before they enter the building. This also applies to staff coming to work. Anyone exhibiting symptoms of COVID-19 will not be allowed into the building. Those refusing to wear a mask and or have their temperature taken will not be allowed into the facility. These measures have been taken to protect the health and safety of clients and staff. But monitor the Board of Health website for additional modifications.
And finally, what have you learned about our behavioral health and developmental disabilities services?
Shania, as far as behavioral health and developmental disabilities, they are not taking any new clients. If you need to speak to a counselor for support between 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday while the clinic is closed, please call 470-230-0840. If you are in crisis, please call the Georgia Crisis and Access Line at 1-800-715-4225. Help is available 24/7, 365 days a year. As far as behavioral health services for children, adolescents, and emerging adults, existing clients can maintain contact with their therapist via telehealth or over the phone. For questions, please call 404-612-9339. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Baylog.
All right, thank you so much for that update, Priscilla. And when we come back on this special edition of Fulton Today, details about what the county is doing to address those vulnerable populations. Stay with us. Welcome back, everybody. Now, as we focus on the county's response to COVID-19, we must not forget about two vulnerable populations. We're talking about those at the Fulton County Jail, including the inmates and the staff, and of course, the vulnerable population of our senior citizens. FGTV's Daryl Carver joins us now with more on what is being done to help them. Daryl?
Throughout this crisis, the Fulton County judicial system has faced a very, very unique challenge, Shania. The challenge is to continue court operations, including operations at the jail, as the area confronts this huge crisis. One of the things that's been done at the jail is establish protocols for cleaning in line with practices recommended by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention to try to ensure that facilities inside the jail are as clean as possible. Also, visitation to prisoners at the jail has been canceled until further notice. As all of this is going on, the jail and the court system have partnered to try to do more virtual court sessions to keep the wheels of justice moving despite this crisis that the area has continued to battle. So trials are still going on. However, they're going on via teleconference if at all possible.
So that's what's happening at the jail. And now shift a little and talk to us about our senior population.
Yes, and Shania, as far as the seniors are concerned, the area is very much concerned about this very vulnerable population, and Fulton County is no exception. One of the things that Fulton County facilities have done up to this point is take meals to seniors using bus services, seniors that may not be able to get out and about, especially with the senior centers that they depend on so much being closed during the outbreak.
And Daryl, any additional updates from the county?
Shania, among the issues that Fulton County is really faced with the court system is trying to keep court operations going despite the current conditions. So one of the things that the county has done is implement cleaning procedures that are in line with CDC guidelines to try to make sure the environment inside the jails is as clean as it possibly can be and is disinfected quite often. Another thing that has been done is a lot of court hearings that are being conducted via video teleconferencing. That way, there are minimal impacts between people being in the same confined area. These are among the issues that the courts are working on currently to try to make sure that this crisis is handled in the best possible way while keeping court operations going and trials, in many cases, still continuing.
All right, Daryl Carver, working from home. Sir, thank you so much for your time. And still to come on Fulton Today, details of what county services are still available right now online. Stay with us. Though Fulton County is operating primarily with its essential staff to provide some of those essential services while many of the county facilities are closed, you can still conduct county business online. FGTV's Abrielle Beckham has that story. Abrielle?
Shania, that's right. Fulton County has measures in place for those wanting to know where to go during this time. You can visit Fulton County website for a list of services on how to pay your water bill, passports, information to pay or research a tax bill, court fines, court documents, library, digital services, and many more. Again, for more information or concerns you may have, you can visit fultoncountyga.gov. I'm Abrielle Beckham reporting for FGTV.
Now, before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. You can also watch a replay of this show and any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel, so please do us a favor and subscribe. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County. Be safe, everybody.